Oh, I can,
Oh,
yes, I
there's
can
some
see
people
names
coming.
appearing.
Hello,
See names.
everybody.
Aha!
Hi.
Face I recognise there.
Oh, have you? Let me have a little look. Oh, yes. Some of those ones we can't get rid of. So a lovely, lovely group of people. I'm just having a little look at you. Some nice faces that we've seen yesterday and in real life and all sorts of places. Hello, everybody. Oh, Milwaukee in Wisconsin. Sunny Rye, lovely. Excellent. Well done. And I'm sure some people have got their wheels going beside them. We'll see some little hands doing some spinning while we're going. So if I hand over to you, Amanda, do you want to give
Ah,
yourself a little introduction and tell us what you're going to be doing?
okay. Intro for me. Uh, been spinning for must be over 40 years now. Um, I don't buy yarn anymore. I spin all my own yarn. Um, it's been regularly on a spindle, on a treadle wheel, and electric wheel. Um, yes, I got into the electric wheel because I thought one day someone would turn up to a workshop with one, and I need to know how it worked. So that was my excuse anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe Amanda, you should tell us how many wheels do you have in total?
Oh no, not that again. That's mean.
Okay, is it in double figures?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, okay.
I
Let's
think it
just
was 16 or 17,
okay. Lovely.
something like that.
That
But
is
there
so
is a new
impressive.
one on order.
Good. You always need a new one.
Hmm. Okay, so yes, I'm going to be giving you some quick demos on both drop or suspended spindles and supported spindles. Um, you could be a beginner at either. You might be an experienced wheel spinner and I've not got into spindles yet. So we're going to cover basics of everything. Right, so a little bit of history. Um, the first wheel to be developed would be what we call the great wheel or spindle wheel. Doesn't have any treadles, you just turn the wheel and it turns the spindle and you spin off the point. They're not exactly sure of the date, but somewhere around 1000 AD, something like that.
Wow.
Actual wheels as we know them that you sit at started to appear in Europe in the late 1300s, I think. So anything before that date has to be spun on a spindle. And it's not just clothes or bedding, but mummy wrappings, ship sails, actually anything made from cloth was made on a spindle. So used right, using the correct tool for the job, and with plenty of experience, they are definitely productive. There is a famous saying, slower by the hour, but faster by the week. If you can spindle and just pick it up and put it down and do it between tasks, by the end of the week you can do quite a large amount. Whereas if you have to carve out, say, an hour or so to get your wheel out and sit down, you might not do that as often. So some people might start spinning, just learn the basics on a spindle and go straight to a wheel and never look at it again. But if you're really interested and you want to sort of carve out tiny little bits of spinning for yourself here and there, a spindle is really useful. And like some of you already might have seen, I walk with my spindle regular. Whenever I go out for a walk, I've got a spindle with me. And well, I took it to Guild yesterday and I filled a spindle in the afternoon chatting to people. So
Wow.
yes, it can be quite productive. Um, yeah, so I think that's basics of the history and that. Just you just need to remember that before a certain date, everything was done on a spindle, and just about everybody did it. Right. Okay. Suspended spindles. If you're a total beginner, then I can recommend something like this. Okay, this is the CD spindle. Basically, all it is, let's just undo that there, is, come off. They're a very tight fit. Right. It is a wooden dowel. I think this one's about 9 millimeters. And it is a little gland nut. They're using it by electricians for wires through a cabinet or something. Okay, so you need to make sure that the central diameter, it matches your dowel and it's a nice firm fit on there. Okay, and then you can fit 1, 2, or even if you want to make a really sort of large, heavy spindle to do some plying on, then you can actually fit 3 discs on there if you wanted to, and then you just lock the top. Okay. Okay. And we've got some links to go with the video. Actually show you about how you can make one with a toy wheel as well.
Oh, lovely.
If you're starting out, what you need to look for is a spindle with as wide a disc. So we call this the shaft and this the whirl. Okay, so the disc shaped whirl, it needs to be as wide as possible, because the idea is that the further the weight on the spindle, and this is there to add a little bit of weight, because your stick on its own is not heavy enough, that adds a bit of weight, and the wider the weight is away from the shaft, the slower the spindle will go. So that's what you need to think about when you start, something that goes slowly and steadily and keeps going for a fair while. Okay. On the other hand, and this one is a supported spindle, but it's the complete opposite. The weight on this one it's at the bottom because it's supported, but it's also very dense and very tight to the stick. So this one will go really fast, but it doesn't go for very long. So those are the two extremes. The easy way to remember that, I always liken it to, I used to watch ice skating quite a bit. And if you watch ice skaters, when they're doing spins, okay, they usually stand there with their arms out and they spin round, keep going, but reasonably slowly. Now, the minute they start to put their hands by the sides or above their heads, you'll see them immediately speed up and then stop, because they go fast, but they don't keep going. So that's how I remember it. If you've got an ice skating with your arms out, you're spinning around slowly. If you bring your arms in, you speed up and then stop. So that's the way to remember. When you start, you don't want anything too heavy. There are spindles out there that we refer to boat anchors. They're so heavy that, you know, the weight of them is going to pull your fibers apart before you get a chance to twist them. So I'm not sure what this one weighs, maybe 40, maybe 50 grams, but that's probably about the maximum for when you're beginning. Yeah. So a thin whirl that goes quite wide is good. Okay. You can look on the internet. You'll find, if you start looking for spindles, you'll find hundreds and hundreds of beautiful wooden spindles.
Yeah.
In fact, it can be a bit of a rabbit hole once you start looking. But get yourself something like this to start with. And then when you know you like spinning and you know what type of yarn you like to spin, then you can go and start looking and collecting all these fancy wooden ones. Use over the carpet. If I'm out walking with my spindle, I usually use for socks. I use a smaller one of these with the mini discs, and with that it has 3 discs on to start with, and the discs I think weigh 6 grams. So I'm tending to usually put about 25 or 30, maybe 30 grams on. So if I'm doing around 25 grams and I've got 3 discs, if I split that into thirds, say 3/8, for instance, I put 8 grams on and I take a disc off, and then my spindle's back to the weight it was before I started. I put another 6 or 8 grams on and take a spindle off. And that way I can keep the weight of my spindle even all the way through. So that's another thing why these are really, really good. They're adjustable as you go.
Amazing. Top tip.
Top tip, yes. Okay. So how would we use a CD spindle? Let's have a look. We want a bit of fibre. So you can either, get yourself a fleece and go through the whole process. But if you're just sort of trying it out and you want something a bit easier and quicker, you could get yourself ready prepared tops. I've got some one of the new coloured ones.
Yeah.
Okay. What's this one?
Carnelian from
Carnelian.
the
Yes.
so it's from the just launched mineralogy range.
And this is nice. It's not got any silk in. It's
Right.
not slippery. It's a nice sort of even woolly blend. That's what you're looking for. You want to make it easy for yourself and have something that's easy to spin. And they're very nice and open, and all you want to do really is just to pull a chunk off. Okay. So about this, something like that will do.
Lovely.
And then you're going to lay it out on your lap.
Oh.
Okay. And that now looks like something, if you were carding, you might have taken off the hand carders. So.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to roll it. You can either roll it towards you or roll it away. It doesn't really matter. But you want to start with the end that you pulled off. Okay.
Mm.
So the fibres are laying this way. And we're just going to roll that one up. Okay. And then you want to bring it back towards you and give it a couple of rolls in the same, just to tighten it up. And then you have a nice little woolly roll.
Lovely, thank you. Is that a roll lag then?
It's what we call a false roll lag or a faux lag.
Yeah.
It's shortened to faux lag. Okay, so if you ever see that term, that's how they've done it. It's just tops. And the thing is that if you can take the top, when you're a little bit more experienced, you can take the top and you can just work from one end of it and you can spin it as it comes.
Yeah.
But because everything is lined up, and these are really, really open and easy to spin, but also if you're a beginner, that can mean they can slip past each other a little bit too quickly. So if you take the end and roll it when you're first starting, then you're actually you're rolling the fibers around in a coil.
Yeah.
And they're all going to, they're a bit like a spring. So they're all coiled up. And when you pull off at the front edge, can you see?
Yeah.
Some
Lovely.
fibers
Thanks,
are pulling off, but they're also pulling the rest with them.
Yeah.
Whereas if you do that on the top as is straight, they don't. They just slide apart because it's such a nice open top.
Yeah.
They just slide past each other. But with spiraling them around in the roll, they're going to grip onto their neighbours and pull each other out. So you can't really break that off without tugging it really sharply. So it just makes it so much easier to spin.
Amazing. Anne asks, is there a fibre or breed that's best for starting off that you would recommend?
Oh, lots are suitable. You're probably looking for something between about 3 and 5 inches in fibre length. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the end of the top here. What have we got here? That's probably about 5 inches.
Yeah.
I don't think I would go much longer than that. And you're looking for something with a nice texture to it, a nice bounce, something that's a little bit grippy. Don't go for anything super fine like a merino or anything like that. Not when they're fine to spin when you get going, but as a beginner, go for something with a bit of tooth, a bit of grip. It will hold on to itself. Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of our ranges, Anne, we always recommend our Appledore range is best for beginners because it's the range with the most grip due to the breeds in it, and it's got some really fun colours, so it's quite fun for you to start off with doing something that excites you. People are always drawn, aren't they, Amanda, to like the shiny silky things because they're really very attractive.
Well, if you
But
find something that you like, you can get it,
yeah.
and you put it in your stash and get something to
Oh
aim at.
yeah,
Yeah, but
that's
don't
great.
start with it. Yeah,
Yeah, you might get a bit put off if you start with something silky and you're just constantly breaking and struggling with the drafting. So
yeah,
there you
yeah.
go, Anne.
Right. Okay. So,
Sorry, keep going.
right. So that
Yeah,
one.
we got you.
That one. Okay. So I'm going to actually just put a few fibers into the hook. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to turn the spindle. I'm not letting any weight on it. I'm just turning it in my hand. And can you see that happening? Can you see the
Yeah.
twist? So give it a few twists, 3 or 4, 5, maybe 6, and then just slightly pull away again. And then a few more twists, and then pull away. And a few more twists, and pull away.
Are you pulling away with your fibre
I'm,
hand?
I'm pulling, it doesn't matter really. I can,
Is
as
it
long as I'm pulling the hook and my fingers apart, I can
okay?
go, I can pull with that one or I can pull with that one, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But just pulling them apart. And now that's reasonably strong, okay? It will hold the weight of the spindle. Oh, no, won't. Let's a bit more. Give it a bit more
And
twist.
does it matter?
Counter.
Does it matter at this stage which way we're spinning the spindle?
It doesn't matter at all.
Okay.
What we generally say is majority of people will turn the spindle clockwise.
Mm-hmm.
So it also doesn't matter which hand you use. I'm afraid I'm left-handed at spinning.
That's quite
So
all right.
you might want to reverse what you see happening. Okay. So we generally suggest that you turn clockwise. So for me, holding it in my left hand, I'm turning the spindle away from me for a clockwise motion.
Mm-hmm.
If you're holding it in the other hand, it needs to come towards you.
Yeah.
Now, I always teach spindling with a thigh roll because it's so much quicker and so much easier. Because I find a thick shaft like this, if you're going to turn it from the bottom, is very, very difficult to get going with a finger. It's the thicker it is, the harder it is to turn. Okay. So I always teach thigh roll. So I'm going to put the bottom bit of the shaft. So if you look, it's plenty long enough. I can cover the bottom bit with the palm of my hand. Okay. So cover the bottom bit with the palm of your hand. Get your thumb out of the way. Lay it on your leg. And if you're going on the left side, you push it down towards your knee and then you let it twizzle in the air. And that is storing twist into that length of yarn you just made. Okay?
Yeah.
So when it slows down, whoa, on breaks. Okay, because I did it a little bit thick. Okay. So
you're left hand, I'm right-handed, but I have it the same way around. I spin the spindle with my left hand and control the fibre with my right. It's interesting.
Oh, right.
I know.
That is interesting, yes.
I wonder if I was taught by someone left-handed, the lady who showed me.
Might have been, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay, let's try that again. No, that's not going to hold. Why does it do it when you're doing a demo? Why does it?
Just to make your life more interesting.
I think possibly because you're holding it there while you're talking. Yeah, that's my excuse. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, we've got some twist there. So roll it and get some twist. And then when you've got the twist stored up, you trap it between your knees. Okay. You pinch at the top and you gently slide your hand upwards. Now this time I'm moving the fibre hand upwards and I pinch there. I get a few inches and I pinch. And then rather than just letting go, I gently release the grip and I slide those fingers up towards the others. So I pinch and I pull the fibres up till I get the thickness I want. And I pinch and then I slide up. And what I'm doing is I'm making an inch or two of yarn at a time and I'm using that twist that I stored. So I pinch there, I let go with the fibre hand and tease these apart till I get to the thickness I want. I pinch at the top, release the grip slightly and slide up. And you keep doing that until you can see the,
Yeah.
so you can feel the fibres. Okay. Now, what you have to do on the first, so imagine that I've got this still in the hook. I'll cheat. Okay. So I'm going to wind it in a butterfly around my fingers. I'll show that one again. So get that yarn in your hand and like that. And you're going to just that finger and thumb, or whichever, one finger and thumb usually, and you're just going to wind the yarn round in a butterfly. So make a figure of 8. Okay. And you keep going and you keep going until you've got all the yarn, and you can pretend you've just unhooked it out the hook. Okay. So that is your first length.
Yeah.
Now, what you're going to do is you're going to want to wind it on in the direction you're going. So you're going, first few turns, you want to wind it by hand and just overlap the end. So hold it with your fingers until you've got a couple of turns, and then start winding it over the end to trap it in place. Okay. Once you've got it caught, you can then wind the spindle in the same direction away from you, inner clockwise. Okay. Like I say, if you want to do it S and anti-clockwise, it's entirely up to you, but most of us will start doing clockwise spin. Okay. You just have to remember that if you come to play it, that you've got to turn it the opposite way to whichever you started with.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just going to reel it in, and I've got to leave myself a few inches to come over the disc and act to the back of the hook.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if you can see that there. Let's get it a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Can we see the hook?
Yeah.
Has got a open and a closed side. So you need to aim at the disc where the closed side of the hook is. And you come under the hook and it will hold against the edge of the disc. And then you can hang it upright again.
Yeah.
So back to roll it down your leg, catch your twist. Just let it hang there, spinning around, building up all that twist. Then lower it. Sit the whirl against your knees, the CD against your knees, and all the time you were twisting, you've got a really tight pinch with those fingers on the end of the yarn, so you're not letting that twist come into your roll before you're ready for it. We'll tuck that up there out of the way. Now you're going to change pinch. You're going to take the other fingers and you're going to take over that pinch. So now these fingers are free and they can start to pull the fibre. You can either pull it upwards or you can pull it sideways, whichever, but just keep it under tension and pinch at the top and slide the fingers together. Pinch there with those fingers, release those fingers, pull, pinch at the top, release at the bottom and slide together. Pinch, open those fingers, pull the fibres up, pinch at the top, release the grip here and slide up over. And as you slide up, the twist follows your fingers up and makes yarn behind them. So what's in front should be untwisted. The twist is all behind. Okay.
Amazing. Can I just ask a question? So
yes.
When you attached to the hook initially, Caroline has asked, what's the best way to attach the fleece to the hook? Hers keeps coming off. So you just sort of hooked a sort of a little fold onto it, didn't you, and spun?
Yeah. Let's go from
and I've used a leader. When I first started, I used a little bit of string or something.
You can use a leader if you want to,
Yeah.
Tie a piece of yarn on and you come out over the hook, over the disc, under the hook, and again you just leave yourself I usually say about a hand span. So for me, I think that's what, about 8 inches or so. Yeah. So you want to leave yourself a good length of yarn, but sometimes I think some people may find it slightly more difficult to get the fibres to attach to a yarn.
Yeah.
But if that works for you, that's a perfectly. When I'm just doing it in the hook, this way. Okay.
Yeah.
I just, because my fibres are in a roll, I can pull off a little loop
Yeah.
Okay. And then I've got,
Yeah. That's lovely. Yeah, we can see.
so I've got just a little loop of fibres. That's the
Yeah.
important thing. And when you twist those, they lock together and they start a triangle going.
Yeah.
Pulls out more fibre.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lovely. Yeah. Caroline says she'll try a couple of
Yeah.
different ways of doing
If
it.
you were doing it with the top straight,
Yeah.
then you need to get your ends and fold it back.
Yeah.
So that you've got that little loop. So fold a little wisp back on itself, and then you get the same loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always need that little bit of a loop to start with.
Cool. Lovely. Thank you.
Okay, right. So, well, just a quickie the other side then. So, if you're working with the fibre in your left hand and the spindle in your right hand, which I think is probably normal for most people who are right-handed, then you're going to want, if you want to get the clockwise twist, you're going to want to put it at the other side, and you're going to want to go from your knee back to your hip. So on that side, I went from the hip down to the knee, and this side, I'm gone from the knee back to the hip, and that gives it the same clockwise rotation. So I can carry on with this spindle now in that hand if I wanted to. Yeah.
Lovely.
When I first started, there wasn't a lot of information about, because it was well before the internet. Internet in homes anyway, that sort of thing. I used to get myself into a real model of which way do I turn the spindle when I'm spinning and which do I turn it when I'm plying. And I found that if I have the spindle in this hand for spinning and I have the spindle in that hand for plying, and I just run it down that leg for Z, I run it down that leg for S. I never get myself in a muddle anymore. Okay. So
amazing. That's a great tip. And for anyone who's wondering, Z and S are terms for differentiating between clockwise and anti-clockwise. So it's to do with the direction of the twist.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
The
So
other
that
thing I
angle.
always say is if you're gonna try and remember that, you'd start to draw a Z in the air.
Yeah.
Okay. And you want to go that way. If
Yeah.
you're gonna start to draw an S, you want to be going that way.
Yeah.
So just draw. I always draw in letters in the air. Okay?
Yeah.
And
so it's
a quick plug. If you want all that written, this book should be out in the next couple of months or so.
Oh, exciting.
Yes.
Lovely. We'll all want that on our shelves, Amanda.
Okay. So that all this is all in the book.
Amazing.
Right now. So we've talked about a drop spindle.
Yeah.
Or a suspended spindle. Okay. Now the other one that is quite good for beginners is a Turkish.
Okay.
So now these are rather large and rather old ones. These are actual Turkish spindles from Turkey, but it's a nice size to be able to show you. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is spun suspended again, but with this one your weight is down at the bottom, and you wind your yarn around these bars in a special motion. You usually go over 2 and under 1, or under 1 and over 2, and it actually gives you I'll show you one that's got some on, and we'll demonstrate with this one in a sec. So when you wind your yarn, it starts to wind into a ball. Okay.
Yeah.
If you do it quite neatly, the spindle is modular. It's in pieces.
Oh.
Okay. So the way it works is you put one leg inside or arm inside the other, and you can see the holes line up, and then your spindle shaft just goes through and locks them together. Okay. So that also means that once you've got your ball on, you can slide that back out, take that one out, slide that one out.
Oh my goodness.
And you are left with
Check.
I've got it in a little bag to stop it getting. You're left with a ball of wool.
Yes.
Now, providing you're careful with it, it will stay like that in a ball until you're ready to ply it or use it if you're using singles. Okay.
Wow.
What we call I don't know if you can see it, a turtle.
Yeah.
It's a lovely pattern on where especially if it's done with coloured threads.
I know, it looks gorgeous.
And you've got a little turtle. Okay.
How would you get your yarn off? Sorry, I'm probably going ahead. The drop spindle that you were just working with, does it just slide off the shaft?
No. Well, if you wanted to, yes, you could. But if you want to do that, you're going to probably need to wrap a piece of paper before you start around the shaft. Then you can slide that off. The wool never slides, properly off. You'll get a tangle. But if you want to slide it, you can put a piece of paper around. What most people do is they'll either ply from 2 spindles or they'll wind some sort of ball from it.
Yeah.
I tend to use a ball winder for mine. Okay, so I wind off onto a ball winder, fill the spindle again, wind off onto a ball winder, however many threads I want to ply together.
Yeah.
Cool, and if you're going to ply back onto the spindle, you can ply on. These are really good for plying because they're so wide. There's a lot of room to store thicker yarn on when you've plied it. Yeah. Yeah, mostly wind off. Okay. Right. So just a little quick demo with this one. It doesn't have a hook. It has a little notch. Okay. At the top there. And we're just going to loop a loop around our thumb. It's called a half hitch. Slide it over the top and pull it tight into that little notch. And hang there quite steadily. Okay. And then that's going to turn like that. And I'm just doing exactly the same movement. I'm pinching and pulling and pinching and sliding up. So the same movement, but this time, whoa. Yeah. And it's gone again. Let's give it a bit more twist.
Could you turn a bit towards your demo screen so we can see what's going on a bit clearer?
All right, yeah, we've swapped over.
Lovely, yeah, thank you.
There we go. So just exactly the same. And as you'll notice, this one is just going and going. And it's not going terribly fast, but it keeps going. And that's the reason that these are good for beginners as well. Yeah. Weight, because of those arms, the weight is thrown to the outside to make that long, steady spin.
Yeah. So in your first demo, you were sort of stopping and starting the spindle to give yourself time to spin. Is that a beginner's technique, or is
yes, you sort of progress to park and draft? Yes. Yeah. Then you can progress to hanging the spindle. These aren't quite as easy to park and draft because of those arms. You could do. Those arms are a little bit more difficult to hold. Yeah. You could do. But this would be an absolute best one to go to if you'd finished the park and draft and now you're thinking you might want to go for completely suspended and spinning while the spindle's spinning. Yeah. So lovely. They go nice and slowly. They're really good. Okay. So that's that one. Yeah. Okay. And we want a little bit on supported spindles as well. What I find with this is that these days there's a lot of people that got on with spinning with wheels, and then they think they might try spindle spinning because they never really got into it, and they tend to go supported. Yeah. Because they're really useful for when you want to relax in the evening and just sit down and spin. Yeah. Yeah. So you're going to get yourself some sort of a bowl. I quite like this one, which is on a leg. So I call it sit upon. So you can just put it, under your leg. You can have it to one side of you. You can have it in the middle, whichever. But you're just going to sit on the leg and hold it there. So it's not going anywhere. I have got a lovely little bowl. Oh, where was this one? For very, very fine spindles. And
Oh my goodness. Yeah, thank you.
that one.
Look at
Okay.
that.
That has got a to-go nut, which they call it vegetable ivory.
Oh
It's
yeah.
very, very hard and very, very smooth. And it's lovely.
I was going to say it looks like you've got a little acorn on there, but it is
Yeah,
actually a nut.
to-go nut, yeah. Vegetable ivory. Very, very smooth and shiny. So it
Yeah,
makes what you're looking for is something that doesn't give you too much friction so that
yeah.
your spindle will spin smoothly and keep going.
Mm.
But when I put that on my knee, I have to be careful because it it slips
Whee!
off. So I'm going to need to put that on a mat or something to stop it sliding. But
Yeah,
with something like this,
yeah,
then you don't have any problems. The other one to get would be this sort, which again, it's a little bowl on top,
yeah,
and then it's got an extended shaft which nicely fits between your knees. So if
yeah,
you're a person who likes to have the spindle right in front of you and coming
yeah,
up like this, then that's perfect. But this one scores because it'll work in that position and it'll also work out to one side of you if you need
yeah,
it as well. Okay, so depends on how you end up liking to spin. Okay, so we'll use that one so it's not going to escape.
yeah. Don't worry, Caroline's asking what the purpose of the bowl is, but we're just about to see. It supports the suspended spindle. Supports the spindle, sorry.
Yes, supported spindles always run resting on something.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
Oh, yes, we should have mentioned yarn. If you're using a suspended drop spindle, you're making, by default, you're making worsted yarn. Everything's holding the weight of the spindle. It's stretched out straight and the fibers are straight as the twist comes in. Okay, so you're making a worsted yarn. With this, with a spindle that's supported, okay, there is no weight against the yarn. So you make a lighter, more woolen style with this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And for a supported spindle, you may get by with running one on your knee when you're first starting, okay? But you'll soon find that that's a little bit slow because there's too much friction against the tip on your knee. And so if you put it in something smoother, wooden, ceramic, glass, or like mine, a very smooth polished nut, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that lets the spindle run and you'll find that it turns for longer before it runs out of twist. Just something smooth, no friction, it lets it run better. Okay, so we're looking at the shape of the spindle, and this one, it's hollow in there.
Oh, yeah.
This is a Tibetan spindle, okay? And if you're going to start with a supported spindle again, this is the one I would recommend because its weight is far away from the shaft. It's hollow in there, so the most of the weight is here, away from the shaft, okay? And that's going to affect the way it spins. And it's same again, it doesn't go as fast because the weight's thrown out a bit more, but it goes longer. So when you're learning, you give yourself, a slower spin and keep it going steady while you concentrate on what you're doing. And with this, you can do park and draft again easily. I'm going to have to turn it in the other hand so you can see what I'm doing. Right, you'll have to make your allowances now because this is handed to me, okay? So what I'm going to do is, let's just wind that down there a second, show you without the wool on. That might be easier. You're going to get the tip of the spindle, and if you can see that comes to a very fine point. So what you're looking for in a gut spindle is a decent thickness of shaft down here, but it tapers very nicely gradually to a very thin point. And like I said, with turning the other spindle by fingers, the finer the shaft you've got, the better of a twist you'll get on it. Okay, so you're going to flick the spindle, and I'm going to turn it clockwise again because I always spin clockwise so I don't get myself in a muddle. So I'm going to turn the shaft on I've got it resting on my finger, and I'm going to push with my thumb to get it to turn clockwise, and I'm just going to make a little circle with my fingers and let the spindle drop back.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that?
Yeah. That's lovely. Thank you.
So I'm letting the spindle rest. Now I've moved it down a bit.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to turn the spindle clockwise, a little flick against my thumb against my finger, and push it off. And then the spindle just sits and turns in my fingers. And all the time it's turning, it's putting twist in any wool you've got up here. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Down there, it's not doing anything. It's just going around with it. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's what you want to do when you get going, is to start to practice turning it and let the spindle rest in your hand turning. Right. So. Okay. So I've gone back to the way twisting. So I'm going to turn the spindle. I'm going to let that spiral at the top. Now, if you can see it, can you see? Oh, got kinks there. Look, lots of twist. So as it pops off the top there, okay, every time it does that, it puts twist in. And you can build twist up like that. Then you can hold the spindle in your hand and you can start to use up that twist. So draft a bit out, use up some twist, draft a bit out, use up some twist. And you can do the park and draft. You've parked the spindle in your hand and you're drafting out. Right, now got a length there. If it needs a bit more twist, you can hold the length and do it another spin. Give it a bit more twist. Because if you're going to apply it, you'll want it to be doing the kinks. Can you see the kinks?
Yeah, we can just see that, yeah.
Yeah. So you'll want to have some kinkiness in there if you're going to apply it afterwards. So you then just unwind, okay? And then you go and wind back in the same way you were going, and always wind down towards your spindle whirl. Okay.
Yeah.
Leave yourself some couple of inches or so up the top of the shaft there, so that you've got somewhere to twiddle to get going. Okay. So build up a bit, have a little bit more yarn up there, build up a bit of twist, hold the spindle, and then start drafting away. There we go. Give it a bit more twist. And then I won't go too far, so I'll go out of shot. And then you wind it on again. Okay. And then when you get a bit of practice, you can get your spindle going and you can let it rest in your hand and you can go,
nice.
Go up to drafting as it goes.
Yeah.
That time. Okay. So let the spindle go. Bring your fingers up. Oh. Bring your fingers up there. No.
It seems
I'm trying to slow it down and getting too much twist.
I know. The supported spindle looks it's speedier to wind it on. You don't have to stop quite so much.
Well, what you can do is you can just do a quick wind on loosely up the top there. Do another length. Do another length. Okay.
Yeah.
Do speedy wind on up the top. Do another length. Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit more twist in that. Wind it, and then you've now got 3 lengths. So you can go back to doing that butterfly.
Oh yeah.
Wind off that what we call a temporary cop, and now concentrate, and you only have to do it once every 3 to 5. Yeah. So concentrate and wind it slowly to get it on neatly there. But you can do several lengths and build up a temporary cop up there as well. Okay. Now, let's just, the last one I was going to mention.
Yeah.
What did we do with it? We had it here just now. There we go. Is this one. Okay. Now, this is something, if you're wanting to spin cotton or very, very fine fibers, and you want to learn how to do it in your hands close to without actually using the wheel, then this is it. But I would say that this is not for a beginner. For someone who's used to spinning, now this is a way to put twist in extremely fast. Because remember what we said about this one? It's a very, very small, very dense whirl, and it's going to go very, very fast, but not for as long. And these are like little whirling dervishes. Okay.
Something to aspire to, maybe.
Yeah. So they're really, really good spindles. They really are productive. In fact, I don't know that I've got a wheel that would do this quick, other than
Oh,
going to
wow. Yeah,
on a
look.
charger. Whoa, you can hear. This puts a heck of a, you can see the kinks in there already on a great
Yeah.
length. This puts a heck of a lot of twisting. And it's
But
a really,
yeah, you
really
so
good way.
quickly did that large bit so almost instantly. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
amazing.
That is really, really fast. Okay. So not something maybe to start with, but if you're one of these spinners who's really used to the wheel now and want to go on to maybe doing cotton, this might be a good place to start with cotton. Or
Amazing.
something like yak or a short cashmere or anything like that. These spindles are really, really useful for that. Okay. Right.
Cool.
Okay.
We've
So
got
anybody got more questions? Anything I haven't
absolutely.
covered?
We've stacked up a few
All
questions.
right. Come on then.
So, Elizabeth asked, could you demo winding on the Turkish spindle, please?
Right. Okay.
Because that is something that sort of, yeah, if you don't see it, it's not obvious, is it?
Let's try it with this big one, then we'll be able to see it. Let's unwind a bit and see if we can get it back on again. Because I don't think you'll see it with my little
Whee!
one. Right, okay.
They look great, those spindles, for just packing in your suitcase as well.
Oh, now it's broke. Come on. I think the little beasties might have had a go at this. Yes, they have.
Oh,
Come on. Been on there a while. Now, you actually, this one, I can see that I've been doing it the other way. Okay. If you want to get a lot on, you can wind the over two and under one, or you can do over one and under two. Now they make a difference.
oh, because it looks like you're going under, over, but that won't make a ball, will it?
No. This one, can we see the bulk of the ball is underneath? Okay. This one, the bulk of the ball, when I wind a bit further on here, because the cross shape's underneath.
Yeah.
This one, the hump is going to be on this side. So what you can do is, if you want a rounder ball, you can wind one way for a while and then revert to the other way, and you'll get the hump. You'll get the hump both sides and make a rounder ball. So anyway, let's do the. Yeah, right. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to go on this one. Let's do it. Let's do a little way and then we'll go the other way. Right. Whoa. Okay. So I'm going to go over one and then underneath, and I'm going to turn it 1, 2. I'm going under 2. Now I'm up the top again, over 1. And then underneath, I'm going to turn it towards me and I'm going to go what? I was over that one. So I'm going to turn 1, 2. Okay. There we go. Over that one. Turn it 1, 2 underneath. And then I'm going to come out over that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Or you do it the other way. And you go, well, give myself a bit more. You go on the top, you go over 2, which means that you're going to the side of the shaft. Over 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turn it towards you. 1, 2. Come under that one. Yeah. And then go past the shaft there. Over 2.
Nice.
Come under 1 and go over 2. Come under 1 and go over 2. And if you look, I've now made a little star shape crossing the shaft. You can tell if you're doing it right, because you'll get that star shape. And that's what makes the pretty patterns if you're doing multicolour.
Lovely. So yeah, and you can see that you'd really get into a rhythm once you knew what you were doing.
Yes, yeah.
Amazing. So we're running out of time, so I'll just quickly try and get, I think we've got lots of beginners and we've had quite a few comments saying, oh, how do I get a more even yarn. It's a bit thick and thin. People are struggling with sort of getting it just right. Is it just practice to get used to the drafting?
It's practice, yeah. And don't find out what your fibre length is, and
Yeah.
don't draft out a long length that's longer than your fibre length, as you'll get a thick bit there, and you'll start to thin out when you get. So if you've got a 5-inch staple, only draft 2.5 inches
Mm.
at a time, and then you won't ever run out and get that thin spot behind.
Lovely.
That's a tip for that. I would think
Yeah,
that's the
that's
best
nice.
way to help with that.
That's lovely. Yeah, it is just practice, and you'll get
Mm.
used to the fibre as you're going. Lovely. Thank you. And I think a couple of people are saying, Amanda, do you do any tuition? Can we come and learn from you in person?
Oh yes, I do. I do one-to-one classes at home quite
Oh,
regularly.
amazing. And you're based in Cornwall, aren't you?
I'm down near Truro. Well,
Lovely.
just the Plymouth side of Truro. We're on
Lovely.
the main we're in Grampound. We're on the main road from Truro to Plymouth.
And
So fairly easy to find.
is there a good way for people to get in touch with you if they want to arrange that?
Yes, just if you go to my website,
Yeah.
there's always should pop up. It's not a very good website because I do it myself, but you should get the email me button, and that'll
Lovely.
email straight through to me. Yeah, yeah.
Great. And another sort of a typical beginner problem, how do you attach more fibre as mine keeps breaking as I'm spinning? That's from a couple of people
Right.
asking about that.
Don't try to go with two spun ends. Always
Yeah,
put where it broke. Pull the thready bit off the front
open.
of your fibre and start with fuzz.
Yeah,
You can lay the end from your spindle over the fuzz and get it to attach, but don't be trying to get two ends to twist together. You're
yeah,
much better to break off the spun bit off the front of your row lag or your tufted fibre and start with fresh fibre. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. You want to sort of open them up a bit so that they can grab each other, don't you?
yeah.
Lovely. Oh, someone's got a gin and tonic. Nice.
Oh, I'll have one, please.
Lovely. Well, I think we're all going to go and grab our spindles, aren't we? Just checking I haven't missed any course questions. Oh, Marie asked if you're doing a spinning course at Guild this summer.
Ooh, which guild?
She said at the Guild Summer School.
Summer school? No, no.
Oh,
I'm going on a course.
oh,
Yeah, I'm going to be doing indigo dyeing.
oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And not just plain indigo, making patterns. Yes, I'm
Love
really
it.
looking forward to that.
Are you going to be dyeing on your own hand spun?
No, no, we're doing on fabric. We're making
Oh,
patterns on
lovely.
fabric. Yes,
Amazing.
yes,
Oh, I think everyone's having a lovely time. They're saying thank you. I think yeah, they've taken on those tips, and I've enjoyed seeing the different ways of how you start it off. And I've never seen someone make a faux lag, so I'm going to go and try that with something at home.
yeah. That's
That
really
looks
good
good.
if you've got, if you're
Yeah,
starting off and all you've got to hand is some tops. Yes, really,
yeah.
yeah.
Lovely. Yeah, it's just people saying thank you. I think we've answered everything. You've shown
Uh,
us some really great demos of different spindles and how we start off with them and how we can progress as well, which has
yeah,
been really great. So thank you so much, Amanda. Yeah, as usual, been a great session. I think people will have learnt a lot and taken away a lot. And I think there's been some people saying, "Oh, I'll definitely want to get my hands on your new book." So we'll all watch
all
out for
right.
that coming
Yes.
out. Amazing. All right. Well, I think we'll say goodbye then. Thank you, everyone, for
Okay.
coming along and enjoying the session. Our next session is in an hour's time at 1 o'clock. We'll
Oh,
be
just trying to
doing,
grab something to eat then. Yes.
indeed, that's what we're going to do. And this time it's going to be a tutorial on intarsia techniques with Anna Hoosman. So she's going to show us how to do that lovely colour work in our knits. Great.
Right.
Lovely.
See
Oh,
you in
it's
a bit
already 1 o'clock in Paris. So we'll see
then.
you at 2 o'clock in Paris. Thanks, everybody. See you soon. Bye.